$15,380 and the new low-income projections in 2024. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to share with you the details of some new projections for 2024 and how this directly relates to tens of millions of low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries, especially why these dollar amounts are so incredibly important. We've got a lot to talk about here in the video. Let's get right into it. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day to help you out in any way that I possibly can, as well as keeping you informed of all of these changes as things are happening very fast right now. We're getting a lot of new information released each and every day, and again, I'm breaking it down for you in these short videos every single day to help you out as much as I can. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about the new projections for 2024, how this is going to impact tens of millions of low-income and fixed-income Americans, and why these dollar amounts are so incredibly important, and what all of this actually means. All right, so it all comes down to the federal poverty line, okay? Let me break down the details of this because this is actually very, very important, and it also directly relates to a lot of the benefits that you receive on a monthly basis, okay? I'll break that all down for you here in this video. All right, so first off, let's take a step back and look at the last couple years here as far as the federal poverty line and what all of this looks like, okay? So right now in 2023, the federal poverty line is $14,580 this year. Last year in 2022, the federal poverty line was $13,590 last year, obviously 2022. Now, the year prior to that, 2021, the federal poverty line was $12,880, okay? Let me talk through this on a percentage basis now. So, from 2021 to 2022, the federal poverty line increased by 5.51%. From 2022 to 2023, the federal poverty line yet again increased by 7.28%. A lot of that predicated by the massive inflation that we saw during that time. Now, it's projected that the federal poverty line is going to increase yet again for next year, 2024, by another 5.5%, okay? Let's run the math on that, and let me break down the numbers for you. So, applying a 5.5% increase to $14,580, which is the federal poverty line right now this year in 2023, would bring us up to $15,380 next year in 2024, or an increase of $800 over the course of the entire year, okay? Now, again, you might be thinking, okay, who cares? Why do I care about this? What does this mean for me? How do I get it, right? Yeah, these are good questions. Okay, hang with me here. So here's what's going on. The federal poverty line is incredibly important because here's why. This is a metric that determines eligibility for a lot of programs. For example, SNAP benefits, okay? This is a program that sends out monthly benefits to about 43 million people, okay? There's a lot of other programs out there that we've talked about many times here on the channel, like the ACP, Affordability Connectivity Program, the LIHEAP, Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHWAP, Low Income Home Water Assistance Program, WAP, Weatherization Assistance Program. Again, the list goes on and on. All of these food assistance programs, they're all based on the federal poverty line, okay? So basically what they do with a lot of these programs is to say, okay, we're opening eligibility for, XYZ program, doesn't really matter, just fill in the blank with whatever, okay? They basically say, we're opening eligibility for these programs for anybody who has an income at or below 100% of the federal poverty line, 125% of the federal poverty line, 150% of the federal poverty line, 200% of the federal poverty line. Generally, it caps out at about 200% of the federal poverty line. So my point is, very important stuff, because opening up eligibility and seeing people that are eligible for this, it's very important because the eligibility for a lot of these programs continues to adjust a little bit each and every year along with the federal poverty line. Pretty important stuff here, okay? If the federal poverty line never increased, well then we would still be sitting significantly lower, and a lot of people would not be eligible for different things. So now that the federal poverty line continues to increase each and every year, and as we continue to see the eligibility and the accessibility for a lot of these programs for fixed income and low income to take advantage of some of these programs because the federal poverty line has increased, helps out a lot of people. Now here's the thing as well. The COLA as in cost of living adjustment, is not going to account for a 5.5% increase to, the federal poverty line. Now remember, 5.5% on $14,580 is $800. It's a big difference compared to a couple percent on a few $100s, okay? So that's kind of just, easy mathematical, calculations there. But my point is, very important stuff, because it simply opens up the eligibility for a lot more people to start taking advantage of some of these programs as the federal poverty line continues to go up, and people's income is not increasing as fast. Therefore, it's kind of opening up the doors for more people to start taking advantage of this. So, and again, the smaller percentage of your income compared to the federal poverty line, that's also a good thing as well. Now, again, obviously we want incomes to be higher, but my point is, if your income is a smaller percentage of the federal poverty line, it just simply means that there's possibly more assistance out there for you. Let me give you a quick example, okay? Let's just say that your annual income is, say, $10,000, just for easy mathematical purposes here, okay? Actually, let's just say it's $10,100 for easy math purposes here, okay? If somebody has an annual income of $10,100, again, running some mental math here, it's not going to be totally exact, but just stick with me here. That is going to be about 66% of the federal poverty line. The reason being, the federal poverty line for 2024, again, if it is $15,380, an annual income of $10,100 would be about 66%, or about 2/3 of the federal poverty line. Do you think there's going to be more programs available to you, more eligibility, more money allocated for people who have an income of 66% of the federal poverty line versus somebody that has an income of 100 or 150 or 200% of the federal poverty line? Yeah, exactly. There's going to be, right? Now, here's another thing that I want to point out really quickly as well. Let's just say, for example, let's just say that Congress pulls their head out of, well, you know where, and they actually do something for low income and fixed income. What if they came forward and said, we will offer additional assistance to those individuals who have an income below the federal poverty line? Well, guess what? In this example I just gave, somebody has an income of a little over $10,000 a year, and the federal poverty line is sitting a little over $15,000. There you go. Might be eligible for something like that as well, okay? There's a lot more doors that open when income is, lower below the federal poverty line. So at the end of the day, obviously we want incomes to go up and a lot of things like this, but this is what it's suggesting, okay? Another thing too that I want to point out, we've seen proposals out there where they want to increase federal benefits like, the minimum benefit of Social Security, SSI, all kinds of benefits like this, up to the federal poverty line, or even increase beyond the federal poverty line, okay? So if the federal poverty line increases by another 5.5% or another $800 a year, it simply means if Congress finally comes together on some of these pieces of legislation and they actually do something as in raising benefits up to the federal poverty line, then guess what? You've just built in another raise as well. See what I'm saying here? So anyway, federal poverty line is incredibly important, even though it looks like some big, pie in the sky, ambiguous number like, I'll never get that. It doesn't really matter to me. Oh, it does matter to you in a big way, okay? Especially if your income is below the federal poverty line, it matters in a huge, huge way. So anyway, I'll keep you posted as we get more details, but this is a projection I just came across, wanted to bring it to your attention here, and what they're now saying about this, what it all looks like. But it looks like it could be going up by about 5.5% or about $800. But of course, we'll get that, once the new year rolls over. Either way, I'll keep you posted. Again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, take care, have a good one, and catch you again later in the next